this is Isabelle Litzler, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today I'm going to share with you how to build your bucket list of companies where you want to work. So I'm going to share with you the 3 steps or one of the processes you can follow to find your ideal company. So the first thing that you need to do is to check your positioning. Are you happy with where you're headed towards? By positioning, I mean, are you applying at the right level with the right position? So how do you find what kind of role, what kind of position you should be looking for? There's a tool called Wordle.net, and I will post the link below. You can also find those word cloud type of links on the web. And basically they help you based on the input of your resume of what are the words that keep coming back on your resume, and that gives you an idea of the type of jobs or skills that you have. So I find that very easy to help with positioning, because then you see what's really strong in your profile, and that's really where you should be looking for a job. So that's really the first thing. Use those tools and insert your current resume to find out what are your strong points and where you should be applying, what kind of roles you should be applying for. Number 2 is identify your target market. So most people don't know what their target market is. They think, well, maybe if I send it everywhere, I have a better chance to be hired. But most of the time, especially in Switzerland, that works against you. You're going to be more successful if you apply with a lot of skill, meaning that you really thought about where you have the best value. Is it going to be in fast-moving goods? Is it going to be in international organization? So it means that you mean that you want to know where you're the best fit. It may not be immediate, so you can try maybe a few different kinds of fields and see where you get the best return, and that helps you find out where's your market. Another way to know where your market is to look at your last 3 positions. Where were you working? And use that as the next step, because in Switzerland what they like the most is people who are doing the same thing for the same type of company. So it has to be a straightforward type of link, no surprises, no non-typical profiles, all of that, even though companies are getting a little bit more open with non-typicals, but it's still very slow. So I would say the preferred profile is someone who has done the same thing for the company next door. So again, that's going to be your best fit. Number 3 is identify maybe 2 or 3 organizations where you would be a good fit. So let's say you decide that you're a great marketing specialist, and the last places where you worked were mostly in, let's say, in banking. So you realize, well, finance, banking is really where you have your best market. So maybe identify, to go even more narrow, within banking, what are the top 3 banks where you could apply. And if they don't have a job, maybe use my laser focused approach, which I will post also below, to find people inside the organization that can help you or at least be a reference for you to get inside this organization. But remember, it can be a longer haul than you think. So, the idea of, well, I apply and, within a couple of months I get hired, it can be a bit longer. Maybe there's no opening at the moment and you have to wait until something pops up. So that could be a longer process. But I think it's better to focus, again, narrow and to get to that job, rather than to say, okay, I'm going to apply everywhere and hope for the best. So your best positioning is really where you have your best chance of being hired. Now, that said, what I advise people to do is to open geographically, because again, recruiters are not going to be flexible in terms of where's your market. If they figure with your resume that you're a marketing specialist and indeed your best positioning is with banking, and they agree on that, you agree on that, but if there's no jobs in your city, they will agree to open up other cities for you, even other countries, but they're not going to place you. Let's say you want to stay in Geneva, they're not going to be flexible to say, well, I have another type of marketing role in Geneva, in banking, so I'm going to put yourself on that job. They're not going to do that, because most companies want, again, the exact profile that they're looking for. So recruiters can be flexible in terms of sending you resume for other positions, but what they can do is increase the scope for you. So maybe they have a client in another city, another country that's looking for the exact skill that you have. So if you want to increase your chance to get back to work fairly fast, increase in terms of scope. So in terms of geographical scope, I mean, so open as quickly as possible to other locations. You may find great jobs also in a place that you didn't expect. So again, open up on that. Again, it doesn't mean that you can also increase in terms of roles, but again, as I said a few minutes ago, it's very difficult in Switzerland to be considered for positions that you're not 100% a good match for. That's just the way it's working. So you have to keep that in mind when you're applying, that there's not going necessarily to be such flexibility. So you have to increase the flexibility with geographical location. So that would be my advice if you want to go back quickly, because what I see a mistake that I see people make is people keep trying for the same location, hoping that at some point either a company will be flexible, will accept that maybe they're not 100% fit, and the time keeps going and the clock ticks, and then after 6 months or a year, then people start really being a bit anxious and wonder what to do. So I would keep, again, the geographical location open, meaning now we can work also remote. So there could be some negotiation in terms of, I live in Geneva, the job is in London. Maybe there's a 50-50% time, or maybe they accept you work from Geneva if it's a job that can be done online, for example. So keep that in mind rather than trying absolutely to work and post inside the city where you are. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to comment below and I will talk to you soon.